We're in Easthampton, Massachusetts at the St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Cemetery. We're in front of the priest section alongside the chapel in the center of the cemetery. And we're looking at Stanislaus Wojciech, who was a lot of things, but it says in Polish, so I'll have to read the English translation. I am the resurrection and the life. Who believes in me, though he were dead, he lives. This tells you about he was in the major Polish army. He was a chaplain and major for that army. He was a former prisoner of war in the German, and then he wandered around, and then at the bottom it says, "Pray for me." He was a priest also in Easthampton, and it has years of 1895 to 1980. And I looked him up, and his obituary says that he was a religious chaplain for the Polish people and for the Polish army, then a major in the Polish army also. Now, the stone next to him is also a priest, and so I'll have to give you a breakdown of that one because it's also in Polish. And this is Stanislaus Zebla, or Stanley, and he died in 1965. He was a priest for the church. And in English it says, "Dear friend, offer a Hail Mary for the repose of my soul. Here lies the body of a priest, prelate, canon of the chapter of Czeslada, pastor of the Sacred Heart of Jesus Church in Easthampton, and he lived for 91 years, and for 30 of those years he was the pastor of that particular church." So he is very well known around the area. Now, the founder of the church, the builder of the church, he's not buried here, and we're going to meet him at another cemetery. Okay, so these are the only two priests I could find in this cemetery. They have a beautiful section here, flagpole, and they did a great honor because behind them they put another person. And the reason why is because that happens to be the superintendent of the cemetery. That means he was in charge of taking care of the cemetery. He was also in charge of taking care of the written records on paper. So his name was Eugene Bergelowitz. He was superintendent of the cemetery for 43 years. In the back of the stone tells you that he's cemetery of St. Stanislaus Cemetery, and he lived from 1921 to the year 2001. And has on the back of it his wife and all of his children. So they did him a great honor by putting him next to the chapel and put him right behind the two priests that he served along the way. And there's still room for more around this area, so more can go in. And notice that we'll slide towards the chapel. So they did a great honor for the priest and the superintendent because they put the chapel right here. I wonder if that superintendent didn't have the chapel built for people to have this little ceremony here. And it's a great place to be buried because it's right at the edge of Mount Tom. So thank you for coming to this St. Stanislaus Cemetery.